Hey everyone, it's Sarah, which means it's Tuesday on What the Gays Say, and this week our topic is to talk about our coming out story, if we're out, how that whole thing went down, and all that good stuff, I guess. So I'm going to start my coming out story by doing the whole typical how I was when I was a little kid. As a little kid growing up, I definitely did feel different. I didn't understand what it was, but there was something about me that wasn't the same as all the other girls in my class. I started wearing boys' clothes. I wore boys' jeans and boys' shirts, and I felt, I don't know, more comfortable, and I liked playing with the boys. Growing up, I knew what gay was, but I only ever really saw it with men, like gay men, because when I was really, really little, my sister had a gay best friend. Well, he wasn't out because he was 7 or 6, but everyone, I knew there was something different about him, and I was okay with it. And then as we got older, he continued to stay in our family's life, and now he's my sister's best friend, and he's gay, obviously. And so growing up, I knew what gay was, but I didn't really think girls could be it or anything like that. I just thought it was a guy thing, or I don't know. I was always accepting of it, and my family was pretty accepting of it as well. My mom and dad embraced him, and he was my older brother almost. So everyone talks about how high school is the worst time of their life because that's when they're being bullied or gay bashed or anything like that. But for me, it was middle school, specifically 7th grade. There was a rumor that started around school that Sarah was a lesbian because I wore boys' clothes and things like that, and I hated that rumor. It was the worst thing in the world to hear. I just changed the way I looked, and by 8th grade, by 8th and 9th grade, no one spread that rumor anymore, but I think people were still thinking it, but as long as they weren't talking about it, that was fine by me. Because of that rumor, I really wanted to be seen with a boyfriend or something, just because I wanted people to stop talking about me being gay. So every chance I got, I would be yeah, I like that boy, I like that boy, I like that boy now. I would just constantly go back and forth between guys that I liked. Even though I never did, I just wanted people to think oh wow, she really likes guys, she's crazy about boys, but it wasn't. So when I got into high school, that was when I had my first real strong girl crush. I was a freshman and she was a senior or a junior, I don't remember. She was in the band with me, and I was mesmerized by her. I would stare at her all during band class. When she'd walk by, I would try to cross paths with her so she would see me. I didn't know what these feelings were, and I was I kept them very hidden. No one knew about them. But she was the one person that I was just in awe by, and I had never had that feeling before. First time I ever kissed a girl, it was amazing, obviously, and I kind of knew then that that's what I wanted, and I was in a relationship with her for a long time. So after my first girlfriend and I broke up, I was dating another girl, and my mom and I were in a car together driving up to my grandma's house. It was a 2-hour car ride, and an hour into it, my mom started asking me all these questions about who is this person, one of my friends dating, how are they still together? She was just asking about my friends' relationships. So then she was so do you like anyone? And I kind of stupidly was oh, no, and then I moved my head or whatever, and she was is there something that you need to tell me? Are you dating someone? Who is he? Blah, blah, blah. And so I was I can't tell you, it's bad, blah, blah, blah. And she's just tell me. And so I told her who I was dating, and it was a girl, obviously, and she was pretty quiet for about a minute, and I started bawling, and then she looked at me and she was I love you with all my heart, and I don't care who you're dating, and I don't know why you would keep that from me, blah, 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 I love you just the same, you're my daughter, I want you to be happy, if it's with a guy or with a girl, with anyone, it's fine by me, and so she was really, really, really supportive, and it was all great. While I was dating those 2 girls in high school, I wasn't out to the whole school. We kept our relationships very secretive, and I didn't ever feel the need to come out to the whole school, just because that's a very personal thing, and I wouldn't only need to come out to someone if I liked them. And I was on the drum line with a bunch of guys who, some of them were complete a-holes, and they always throw around the term faggot or whatever, and I hated that, and I didn't want to cause any more drama between them or myself, because there was already enough drama as it was between us. So I never came out I never publicly came out of my school, even though I was dating these girls, like, under the radar. So all that happened in October of 2010. Fast forward about 6 or 7 months, and my mom randomly one time asked, like, oh, so do you like any guys, like, at school or something? And I was just thinking to myself, didn't I just tell you that I was dating a girl? Like, what? I don't know if I didn't make it clear enough to her, or if she just wanted me to outwardly, like, tell her, like, hey, I'm a lesbian, I like girls, but I didn't say anything at the time because I just got I was kind of taken aback. I was just like, no, I don't like anyone, and moved on. But in November of 2011, I had to tell her. Like, there was just no way around it. It was like eating me up inside. So we were at my grandma's house for the weekend, and I pulled my sister aside. I wanted to tell her first. And I pulled her into a room, and I was just like, Elizabeth, I have something to tell you. Like, it's important. And she was just like, okay. And I told her, I was like, I'm gay, and she said, okay, have you told Mom? And I said, no. She's like, are you going to tell Mom? I said, yes, and then I kind of explained some things to her, and she was just like, okay, well, I love you. Like, she didn't care, really, just because it's not a big deal. Then the very next day, right before I was about to go back to college, I just broke down crying in front of my mom, and I was like, I have something to tell you, like, just this, I need to tell you. And I sat down right in front of her, and I just looked at her, and I was like, I'm gay. Like, it took a while to say it, but I finally said it, and she just, like, she gave me the biggest smile, and she, like, wrapped her arms around me and hugged me, and she was like, you know, like, this doesn't change anything just because, you know, you're like this, you know, I still love you. I kind of figured because you dated that one girl last year, but, you know, whoever you want to be with, it's fine by me. I just want you to be happy. And, like, just the weight of the world lifted off my shoulders, and since then, I've been out to my mom. We don't really talk about it just because I'm not, like, it's not something that I need to be like, oh, blah, 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 but she, like, knew that I had a cardboard cutout of Naya Rivera, and she was like, she loved that. So she knows, but it's not something that I need to talk about with her unless it's important, you know? So in conclusion, my coming out story was a wonderful blessing, and I know that a lot of people aren't as blessed as I was, and for that, you know, I thank my mom and I thank my family for being so supportive, and I wish that one day the kids that aren't accepted do become accepted by their family, because it's a wonderful feeling. If you have any topics for us to talk about, you can always put them in the WhatTheGaysSay.tumblr.com ask box, or leave a comment or anything like that, and we'll be sure to talk about them. The first week of videos were really, really fun. I'm in love with everyone on the collab. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm in love with all of you. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday and a wonderful rest of the week, and I will see you all next Tuesday.